Welcome to Wrinkle Society of Hope. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to those new mommies, to those mothers who have taken care of grown children and loving on their grown children and see them to success. Happy Mother's Day to foster mothers, to aunties, to grandmothers. Happy Mother's Day from Wrinkle Society of Hope. Today is a special edition. Wrinkles has brought Dr. K to the Wrinkles family. She is going to talk about how she pressed through her wrinkles in life in order to become the amazing mother that she is today, with a little bit of surprise. So, I am so excited for you to hear this Mother's Day edition. However, know that you can listen to other wrinkle stories at wrinklesocietyofhope.org. And don't forget to subscribe and share, and also hit that notification button so you can see and then share and engage in the new stories that come. Thank you so much for coming today, and I can't wait to hear from you soon. Hello, Wrinkles family. I am beyond. I'm always excited, but let me tell you, this is my sister in love. This is the amazing Dr. K. We met many moons ago, and this is a Mother's Day special. Kendra always amazed me with how she mothered her beautiful children, and the love that she gives to those children are exceptional. Exceptional. She became a mother after me, but I definitely model and use her as a mentor as me being a mother now. So Dr. K, introduce yourself to the Wrinkles family.
Hello, Wrinkles family. My name is Dr. K, Kendra, and I'm so happy to be here. Summer Bunny is what I call her. She is like, oh my goodness, one of my best friends. She's my partner. Like, she's so loyal, such a beautiful spirit. So I'm so happy to be here. I know you guys see what I see within her, and it's just a blessing to be a part of this. I'm really excited. I know mothering and parenthood is so very important. And I know it's very important to her as well as it is to me. We started a little bit later in our years. Yep. We've been through a lot together. We've had our ups and downs just with life. And so I wanted just to take this moment, especially since this is such a beautiful episode, Mother's Day. It couldn't have been more perfect. Well, Summer Bunny, I want to just tell you this, that I am
Kendra.
I am 6 months pregnant.
What the heck?
It's a boy.
Oh,
and I would love for you to be his godmother.
Oh, that is craziness. Wait a minute. You don't supposed to be blindsiding me.
I know, you guys. I really wanted to do this on camera, and I know because I love her that much. And so we're just going to do this. This is a Mother's Day episode. And what better godmother for my fourth baby?
Woo! And
I'm 45, so you guys go figure. But this is the perfect episode. So yes. And yes to your question, too. We can talk about that, too. But
wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you snuck that one on me during this COVID pandemic. Didn't know that was happening. Glad to hear that you're still happily married because you've been enjoying the pandemic.
A little bit too much. There's nothing else going on but that.
As you can see, I'm truly happy for you and Mr. Dre. This is my power couple. I love. And she got me crying with no tissue. Oh my gosh. Congratulations, sis.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay. And of course I accept. Of course.
I thank you. Well, he will be here in August, so you'll get to meet him very soon.
Wow. Well, that's a wrinkles history right there. It got me booing before we even start.
So how about them wrinkles?
Oh, number 4. How you feeling,
Number
mommy?
4.
How you feeling?
You know, you guys, I'm feeling really good. It was a little, first trimester is always really tough because you're tired. I think, but this is the most easiest of my pregnancies, especially being an older mom, a more seasoned mom, I'll say that. But it's been, at first I didn't think that, for one, it was a viable pregnancy. So I went 2 months thinking that I was actually miscarrying. And just, I mean, I'm completely honest. I've had 2 prior miscarriages before my last baby. And summer I have King, which is my 1.5-year-old. So me and my husband, we've been trying this journey. We wanted 4. That's what we got. So this one is kind of, it's a blessing. It really is, because we didn't think that it was a viable pregnancy, but it's been the most blessed one. I haven't been that sick. I get lazy and I get a little tired, but you're getting bigger. I'm nurturing a human life, and it's just a blessing. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful. But it's been a journey for sure.
A journey. Well, good. Listen, no praying, continuous strength. 45. Let's look at this beautiful woman. Look, my nose all red. Lord, we being real today.
You look
real.
beautiful. You look so good. Like there's nothing going on. There's just a little redness here, but you look so pretty. So we can wrinkle
I get red when I cry. That's so hilarious.
You're matching your eyeshadow.
I am. But 45, Kendra, I don't even, let's talk 45, now about to have your 4th blessing.
Yes.
No wrinkles on your face. Do you have any wrinkles anywhere?
I mean, wrinkles, I have a lot of wrinkles. Life it's been up and down for me. And I think what helps me now is that, the life that I chose and I created, we have choices, and I chose to create the life that I want to live. I chose to marry this man that I'm married to. I chose to have children. I chose, whether my education, my career, because I'm an assistant professor. I'm also a licensed professional counselor. And so these are professions that I chose to do. And so I think in my life, I've always wanted to choose how I wanted my life to go, but I knew that God was right there with me. So if it wasn't a good choice, it wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. So usually when it works and it's not chaotic, then I know that it's of God. And so I trust it. I believe in it, and I just keep going. And that's kind of my thing with life and wrinkles, is just, pushing on, putting one foot in front of the other. And when things don't work out, you just know that they weren't designed to, and you just move on from there.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about being a mother? We are considered seasoned. Being a mother and pushing through that wrinkle of just period, about you as a mother. How did you get through the wrinkles of motherhood?
Definitely. I think for me, I really make sure that I don't lose myself within motherhood, because I can see it's so easy to do. It's not easy though. I mean, especially with working full time, being a wife, having a home, making sure that my kids' needs are met. We're women. And so women, we tend to make sure that the machine is working. We see things that men don't always typically see, not negating from their responsibilities as fathers, but as women, we're just complete nurturers, where we instinctively know, okay, go check on the baby at 3 a.m, go put the blanket over, go, make sure they have milk for next week. I mean, we're always preparing and planning. I think it's been helpful for me to just know that my friends like you are there, even if I can't talk to you. We all have busy lives. It's just like, we have things going on, but I know that you're there. I know that, I can tap into my journaling. I know that if I need to take a ride by myself in the car, I can do that. Watch a movie. I'll say, I'll tell my husband I need a timeout and I need a timeout. If I know that my temperament is getting a little, I'm getting a little snappy, then I need a timeout because I can get stressed, and it's really stressful when you're juggling all of that. And so I have to make sure that I get back on balance, because usually when the stress comes, it's because I'm imbalanced. I'm depleted somewhere. And I just know myself, and I'm okay with saying I need time out and that I can't do everything. And if the dishes aren't done, then they can wait for a minute. Like sometimes things have to wait, and sometimes I have to say no. So setting boundaries have been helpful too, aside from self-care.
I love that you said depleted somewhere, because I think as women, we're superwoman, and we feel like it doesn't matter if we're depleted, we still push. Talking to myself, how I am depleted, but I'm still going to continue on and not do the self-care. I love that you said that, because we need to do that.
Yeah.
We really
absolutely do. We have to do it. We have to. We do too much. And I mean, we're fierce, we're bold, we are amazing human beings. We really are, but we have to take time for ourselves.
Yes. And if you can speak a little bit to the wrinkle of, losing a baby, miscarriage. There's so many women that I know that have been through that. How did you press through that wrinkle?
Oh, that was kind of tough in the beginning. The first one really, because I know for me, I thought a miscarriage meant one type of way, whereas I had a miscarriage, like a missed miscarriage. So I went in there, I didn't have any symptoms of bleeding or anything. I went in there thinking everything was fine, and then they don't find a heartbeat. And so I didn't even know that existed. It was really hard. We were expecting a baby, we were going in there thinking that everything's okay. And I don't even remember getting home that day. I was just in total shock. I was a little sad, but then I just, after some time, of course, and the shock wore off, and we just said, just wasn't meant to be. And we kind of just charged it to the game. And we know that things like this happen to so many women. It's something that more of us don't talk about. We're not honest about it. But the thing about it is, even after the second miscarriage of going through the second one, it became easier. But the thing we didn't do was give up. Like, we didn't give up. And I'm so grateful that we didn't, because I wouldn't know my baby king. I wouldn't know this one here. Yeah. And it's funny, my doctor, when I had my C-section with my third son, my doctor was saying, okay, do you want your tubes tied? Yes or no? And I couldn't answer. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I can't do them unless you give me a definitive yes, tie the tubes. And I just could not answer the question. And so she didn't tie the tubes, of course. But then when I went to see her on my first visit, she was like, so tickled. She was like, this is why you couldn't say it. I was like, this is why. Oh, so you never know what's in store for you in the future. Just keep pressing on. And that's when your faith has to kick in. Even if you don't see things, you know that you're hoping, and you're knowing spiritually, you're hoping too, that things will turn out the way that you want them to. And if not, then they just weren't designed to be. So we knew that if King wasn't, if I couldn't conceive him, then just wasn't meant to be. But once we did, we were like, okay, well, then it was meant to be. And then with this one, if I couldn't get pregnant again, then 3 was enough. It just wasn't meant to be. But there's seasons to get there. I mean, after the grief and all of that, you have to go through that. You have to take your time to grieve. So I would tell any woman out there, take your time to grieve. Don't give up. When it's time to finally accept. And then that there's other options, surrogacy, adoption, or just being a mom of however many, or being a godmommy. So,
yes,
getting a dog. There's options.
Yes, there's different ways to be a mommy. And thank you for sharing that as well. Because I know, like I said, personally, some women who have, it's been hard. That has to be a hard struggle. And when I worked in women and infant services at Banner Good Samaritan, Of course, I was one of the first person to provide emotional support to those women who, went through that loss. And I think it is time. I know I've had women that say it took time to allow myself to grieve that. And then look at you, mommy, about to be a 4. I'm still in shock.
I know.
But let's speak to the fact of you always said to me, since we met, 15, 20, I don't even know how many years ago when we met, you said, I would love to have 4 kids. And I always said, you by yourself. Remember, I was like, oh, all you by yourself.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't even know I said 4. I thought maybe I would have said 3.
No.
I said 4?
You said 4. Wow. You said 4, and I thought you was crazy. And I said, oh, you by yourself.
Yeah, it is a little crazy. 4 kids is a lot, but just for some reason, it's just what we want. And thankfully, I have a husband who's supportive of that too. He comes from a big family. I come from a small family. And so I think that's kind of why for me is because I come from a small family. And so I think it's more so about legacy for me than anything else. So, I mean, motherhood for me is just really, really important. I think of just, putting vessels on the earth, leaving an imprint somewhere, trusting when I'm not here, God forbid, but that I assign people to the lives of my children like I did with you. I take that seriously, and that they can move on through life and be who they are and be comfortable in that.
So I'm just digging today because I know you're not shy and I can dig, but also I would like you to speak to the fact to married women and being a mother of, children, because even one is hard on a marriage, but having more children, how do you keep your happy marriage when you have, and make sure you keep your eye on your marriage? Let me put it that way. How do you keep an eye on your marriage, having small children? How do you do that?
Yeah, it isn't easy. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's just peaches and cream, and it's really challenging, and we have to really set time out for ourselves, and sometimes we don't always get that time, and so we have to rebound some way. And if we can't spend time together, like a lot of times we can't, we just have to be accepting of what we can do, whether it's a kiss in the morning and then the kids are like, ew, but we're like, look, we got to get it in, because if we don't get it in now, we're not going to get even a kiss in. Yeah. And it just, we revert back to when we first dated, and we understand our life this is just a sacrifice. I think that's the thing. We know that we sacrifice this. We agreed that this is what we wanted, and there is no backing out. Even if we're the ones that have to sacrifice our lives and our time with each other. I mean, I'm sacrificing a lot. He is too. I sacrifice time with my friends. I sacrifice myself, things that I want to do. There's so many things that I haven't done that I have on this agenda that I haven't done, and I sacrifice time with my husband. And unfortunately, we just have to make sure that we stay grounded in that. If we take our time out, and then we find time, whether it's at night when they go to bed or early in the morning, where we can, chat a little bit or, kiss a little bit. But it's just, you have to find the time. I mean, we used to go in the laundry room and just talk. It's just, or have a nice mimosa. I mean, it's just, we have to find the time. You have to find it. There's 24 hours in a day. So you have to find it, but just understand that it's a compromise and it's a sacrifice, and just be okay with that.
Amazing. Well, what would you tell your younger self, the girl I met who was karaokeing at our speed dating event?
Missed that.
I know. Doing all that. What would you tell pre-kids, pre-mother? What would you tell yourself back then?
I would tell myself just to be yourself. I And, there were some times where I wasn't myself a lot of the times because I've always been really different, kind of quirky, kind of like I have this grandiose type of mindset. Like I like to have fun. I'm very creative. I mean, I had a pink car, for instance, like for God's sake. So I'm always like, I just like to be myself. And I think it took me a while to be that way, just to be comfortable, because for me, I've always had a fear of being judged. And I know that's horrible, but
Yeah.
I was used to being judged, to be honest. So that's kind of what I adapted myself to. And I would tell my younger self just to be who you are and not care. What I tell people now is what everybody thinks of you is none of your business. Be who you are.
I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And now the dynamic Dr. K, because you weren't Dr. K when I met you. I mean, how many degrees do you have and what do you have your degrees in?
So I have 4 degrees now. I have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. I have a Master of Arts in Counseling, a Master of Science in Leadership, and a Doctorate of Behavioral Health.
Yes.
So 4.
Yes. And you did it all. You did it all. And so, well, the woman that you are now, what would your t-shirt say if you got a t-shirt made?
Of course, SelfLife Love.
Yes.
That is, my brand. That is me. That is, it encompasses everything about me, from everything about life, everything about just being, my presence. SelfLife Love. About self is, loving yourself for one, valuing yourself for two, knowing your worth. Life is about creating the life that you want to live, because again, we have choices. We can choose where we want to go, who we need to be with. We don't have to marry the first man that proposes. I didn't, so, you have to wait for the right one. You have to look at your life as this one chance of living the most amazing life that you can. And so you have to make choices and making sure that you do that every day. And then love, of course, is the love of your, family, friends, your spouse, your significant other, just other people, just loving things. Like I love flowers and just loving things that make you happy, and not, being scared of that. Because then you kind of, if you're scared to love, you're going to miss out on a lot. And so SelfLife Love is all about presence and being present, being grounded, being aware of why we even exist. So SelfLife Love, absolutely.
SelfLife Love is definitely you. What are you doing now in the community? What are you doing to give back?
Well, I was before pre-baby. I was a really big advocate on trauma, police violence. Me and my family had a situation 2 years ago where we had a situation with police, and, being not a victim, but a survivor of violence. I was an advocate for that, going to the city council and just talking more about that, and then volunteering at the Dream Center. This is a sex trafficking population, so I do groups there, and I work with the women there. I provide clothes, like things I don't use. We talk about how to have self-esteem and to make good choices, how to find jobs, how to, leave that life behind that they were used to, that codependency, being dependent on other people that are unhealthy, toxic relationships. We cover all of that. And so I did volunteer work for that. And then the other thing was Habitat for Humanity. And so building homes for lower income household families that need like their houses painted. So I would paint houses with my colleagues. And so I did that. And then I'm also a volunteer through ASU for the Center for Democracy. And so I love politics and just civil rights and liberties. And so I'm a volunteer for that. So I've been pretty active, you know, over the past, I think about 5 years in different lanes of things. But again, being a mother, I kind of had to pull back a little bit, and hopefully I can find time soon again and reconnect with all of that. But that's kind of what I've been doing.
And you have a podcast.
I do. So you guys, podcast, it is up and running. I have over 20 episodes now, really trying to stay diligent with that, but I'm really starting to like it. It's called SelfLife Love with Dr. K. It's on most platforms from like Spotify, Anchor. If you look it up in like a podcast, maybe you have one on your app, you can look me up and it'll say SelfLife Love with Dr. K. I know there's thousands of podcasts, so you may have to search, but SelfLife Love with Dr. K, it just, I go through self, I'll do a topic about self, I'll do a topic about life, and then I'll do a topic about love. And I use examples of my life. And I also integrate, you know, the knowledge and the training that I have, whether it's personal or professional. So a lot of times I integrate personal and professional development and even my trainings that I do outside of work, but the podcast is pretty much the same, just integrating personal and professional development and talking about self-life love. Yeah. So tune in, SelfLife Love with Dr. K. I'd love to have you visit. So
it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I try to tune in every time there's a new one. And you can go to WRINKLESSocietyofhope.org and there will be a link to her podcast there as well. So definitely excited about you all listening in. It's refreshing, and I just love Kendra's voice on there. She's just so relaxing, and I listen to it on my way to work sometime. And so, yeah, you got to check it out. Check my sister out.
Check it out. I love that you love it too. You really encourage me because you were like, I love it. I'm like, really? I was like, really, you do? And so I was like, let me keep doing it.
Yes, keep doing it. We got to keep going. So thank you so much for being our guest for this Mother's Day 2021.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun and exciting, and I'm glad to be here.
And the fact that you just blindsided me, maybe red-faced, and I am so excited for baby number 4 in this kingdom of your household. So I listen, love you. Wrinkles, follow her, follow Dr. K. She'll be coming up again. I'm gonna bring her onto some other platform. Very informative, but also be able to provide some encouragement and some nuggets to other people. So we will be having some classes coming up. Hopefully by the end of this year, the Dr. K hopefully will be able to facilitate to provide some encouragement. I don't know now because we got a new baby coming, so we'll see. But
I know, but I will squeeze it in for my summer bunny. So we have things to do. So once I'm done with all of this, it's back to normal. So
maybe next year.
I will check you guys after the baby.
After the baby, yes. All right, Wrinkles, we thank you so much. Don't forget WRINKLESSocietyofhope.org. We love you. Bye, Wrinkles. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.